Good morning all of you. How are you all? Hope you all are well in your home. You remember in the last class we completed the story Learning the Game by Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. Today we are going to start our next unit titled as Bonds of Love. Bonds of love. From the title we can understand that our unit, this second unit is related with love and peace. Love, bonds. What do you mean by bond? Bond is a band, a connection. So through love we can connect the entire world. So in the first page you can see a picture. Our earth, our world is covered by the hands, holding the hands of people, that is humanity, and two doves are flying over there. What they signify, the two doves? Yes, very good. Doves signify peace. So here you can see the picture. Our earth, our world is covered by the people by holding their hands. So 4 sub questions are there related with the picture. You can see this picture here. This is the picture. Then here our earth is covered by humanity by holding their hands together. So 4 sub questions are there. The first question, what do you see in the picture? What do you see there? Yes, they are the humanity. The people are holding their hands and they cover our earth in means of protecting. Then how are the people seen? How are the people seen here? Yes, they are holding their hands. That means unity. Then what do the doves signify? I already said the doves, 2 doves signify peace, the quality peace. Then what idea does the picture convey? What idea is given by the picture? So you just write it, and here we going to start the next lesson, that is maternity. Maternity is a story by Lilika Nakos. The next story is Maternity by Lilika Nakos. So here comes your author profile about Lilika Nakos. I'll read it for you. Lilika Nakos was born on 1903 and died on 1989, was a Greek novelist, journalist and short story writer. So she was a Greek novelist, journalist and a short story writer. She was one of the first women writers of modern Greek prose and for many years the only woman in Greek journalism. She is best remembered for her story collection titled Children's Inferno, Stories of the Great Famine in Greece. One of her best known novels is Lost Soul. Lost Soul is her famous work. So she was a Greek worker, journalist, novelist, all those things. Here comes the first story, Maternity. Maternity is a story by Lilika Nakos, and it is a sad story about the character Mikali. So what we are going to discuss in this chapter, that is through helping. The main point in this story is through helping we can change the world, we can save the world, and we can create what? A quality of love and peace. So before starting the story, here comes another term, that is haiku. Did you hear this word before? It's not an Indian word, it's a Japanese, it's a word origin from Japan, Japanese word. Haiku means an unrhymed poem. Verse means poem, and unrhymed means not rhyme, so no rhythm. So unrhymed verse or poem in 3 lines. Haiku is a 3-line verse or poem without rhyme, that is. So here you can see a 3-line verse, that is haiku. I'll read it for you. Lighting one candle with another candle, spring evening. How many lines are there? 3 lines. So here it is translated by Robert Haas, and this is haiku, 3-line verse or poem, and it is unrhymed. Now come to the story. All helping each other and empathizing with the sufferings of our fellow beings will help us create a world of peace and love. So through helping others, our fellow beings, will help us to create a world of peace and love, a beautiful world. Now we are going to learn the story Maternity by Lilika Nakos. Come to the first para here. Before that, what is the meaning of the word maternity? Maternity, yes, maternity means motherhood. Maternity means motherhood. Maternity, motherhood. So come to the first paragraph. All it was more than a month since they were at Marseilles. So the story started in the place Marseilles. So some people are there before 1 month since they were at Marseilles. The camp of Armenian refugees on the outskirts of the town already looked like a small village. This is in the camp of Armenian refugees. You know who is a refugees? Refugees means the people who wanted to get the shelter. The people who wanted to get the shelter. So the camp is based in Marseilles, and the camp of Armenian refugees on the outskirts. Outskirt means the border lines of the town already looked like a small village, and this place is already looked like a small village. They had settled down in any way they could. The richest under tents, the others in the ruined sheds, but the majority of the refugees, having found nothing better, were sheltered under carpets held up at the 4 corners by sticks. So what we can see there, you know, the life in the camp was very difficult. So here like that, they had the rich people in the camp was settled. They just created what? A tent to live, and other people are living under the ruined. Ruined means destroyed. Shed, you know, sheds like that. Then but the majority of the refugees, most of the major part of the refugees, having found nothing better. The majority of the refugees just living under the carpets. They are holding the carpet under 4 sticks. In the 4 corner 4 sticks are there. They just create the tent, almost like a tent or shed with the carpet. They thought themselves lucky if they could find a sheet to hang up at the sides and wall them from peering eyes. They keep just one thing, that is they wanted to escape from other people's peering eyes. What is peering eyes? Is a type of look. Some people just peering to others, others kitchen or others house, what they do, all those things, a secret look. Like that, they wanted to protect the people in Armenian camp. The refugees wanted to protect their life from the other people's peering eyes. So that is it. So they created what? They build the tent by stick and carpet. Then they felt almost at home. Now after building this tent or shed, they feel what? They are in the home. The men found work no matter what, so that in any case they were not racked with hunger, and their children had something to eat. Their life is very tough, very difficult, but their child or children got something to eat, something to satisfy their hunger. Of all them, Mikali alone could do nothing. Here comes our main character, that is Mikali. Of all of them, Mikali alone could do nothing. Mikali can't do anything because he is alone there. He ate the stale bread which his neighbors cared to offer. So he ate what? Stale bread. Stale means not very fresh, dirty bread. That given by whom? The other people, the refugees in the Armenian camp, they offer him that. Come to next page on. And it weighed on him, for he was a big lad of 14, healthy and robust. He was a boy about 14 years old, and he was healthy and robust. What is robust mean here? Robust means strong. He was a healthy and a strong boy, not a man boy. But how could he think of looking for work when he literally bore on his back of burden of a newborn babe? And he can't do anything because he carried a newborn baby on his back. On the shoulder of Mikali, we can see whom? A newborn baby. Let's see who is that. Since his birth, which had caused his mother's death, he had wailed, proclaiming his famished state from morn till night. So who is that? That is Mikali's young brother. After giving birth to this baby or brother, his mother died. Since his birth, which had caused his mother's death, he had wailed, and after that he faced poverty because no one is there to care them, the babe and the 14-year-old Mikali. So he faced a tough and very difficult life. Here he faced poverty, all those things. Here famished means poverty. Famished, the meaning of the word famished means poverty or starving, all those things. Who could have accepted Mikali's services when his own compatriots had chased him from their quarters because they were unable to bear the uninterrupted howls which kept them awake at night? And Mikali and his the young brother, newborn baby, chased, just drive away from whom? From the people who the refugees in the Armenian camp. For what? The newborn babe is crying very loudly. Howl means loud cry loudly. That is why they can't hear, they can't bear the sound of the crying sound of the newborn baby, the refugees. So they just chased Mikali and the newborn babe from the Armenian camp. Mikali himself was dazed by these cries, and Mikali also was very difficult to live, very difficult. His head was empty and he wandered about like a lost soul, dying from lack of sleep and weariness, always dragging about with him the deafening burden that had been borne for his misfortune and its own aunt that had so badly chosen the moment to appear on this earth. This time he was, Mikali with his baby, was chased by the Armenian people. This time he felt what? Very difficult, very sad moments because they have no mother, no job to live. So he was chased by the people, and with this baby he just wandered with this baby to another place, for a living place. Everybody listened to it with irritation. They had so many troubles of their own, and they all pitifully wished it would die. What a situation here. All the people, they can't bear, the people, the refugees in the Armenian camp can't bear the sound of crying sound of this newborn baby. For what this baby is crying? Yes, it didn't get what? Milk. That is why it can't suffer the hunger. That is why. So here the people pitifully wished, pitifully means kindly wished, it would die. Then all the people, the refugees in the camp, wish what is their wish? Newborn baby would die. But that did not happen, for the newborn child sought desperately to live and cry louder his famished state. But it didn't happen. The baby is still there. The distracted women stuffed their ears, and Michale wandered about like a drunken man. You know, the alcoholic man, the drunken man, like that. Michale also wandered like a drunkard. For what? For a living place. Because these people, the refugees in the Armenian camp, just chased them. He had in a penny. Penny means a coin. He had in a penny in his pocket to buy the infant milk, and not one woman in the camp was in a position to give it the breast, enough to drive one mad. So Michale didn't have any penny, any coin to buy the milk for, the infant milk for this newborn baby, to quench or fulfill his thirst, his hunger, and no woman in the camp is ready to give him milk. That is why he wandered like a lost soul, a drunkard. One day, unable to bear it further, Michale went to the other side of the place where the Anatolians were. They also had fled from the Turkish massacres in Asia Minor. Now, from chased by the refugees in Armenian camp, he just entered toward next camp, that is Anatolians camp. Then Anatolians, they also had fled from the Turkish massacres in Asia Minor. This is the camp after Turkish massacres in Asia. Michale had been told that there was a nursing mother who might take a pity on his baby. So there he went full of hope. He heard from He heard a news from someone that there is a nursing mother. Maybe she gave milk to this infant baby. So with full of hope, he entered to Anatolian's camp. The camp was like the same misery, but here also the camp was very sad situation, misery. Old women were crouched on pallets on the ground. Barefooted children played about in pools of dirty water. These are the sights, visions we can see there. What the women in this Anatolian camp were crouched on pallets on the ground. They are sitting on the ground, and the barefooted children, the children without chapels, they just barefooted children played about pools of dirty water. As he approached, several old women rose to ask what he wanted, but he walked on sand, stopped only at the opening of a tent. From the interior of the tent came the sound of a wailing infant. This in Anatolian's camp, he can hear the voice, the crying of whom? An infant baby. So there is a hope in his mind to get the milk for this brother. Have pity on this poor orphan and give him a little milk. I am a poor Armenian, he said in Greek. And in front of a house, a tent in Anatolian camp, Michale heard a crying sound of an infant from a house, and he asked a woman to give him some milk for the brother. And he said, have pity on this poor orphan, this child, my brother, and we are orphan, just give him milk. And I am a poor Armenian, I am an Armenian, Michale is an Armenian, he said in Greek, and he said this in Greek language. At his appeal, a lovely dark woman appeared. Now, after hearing this voice, a dark woman appeared there. She held in her arms an infant blissfully sucking the maternal breast, its eyes half closed. And the woman came in front of the house by holding her baby, that is sucking her breast. That she is breastfeeding the child. With that, she just came in front of the house. Let's see the kid. Is it a boy or a girl? Let's see. You just see, open the bundle and just show me what. Is it a boy or a girl? Show me your kid, your little brother. The woman asked. Michali's heart trembled with joy. That time, Michali's heart is beat or trampled with joy for happiness. Why? Because he created a hope there, because maybe my brother, my infant, little baby got milk from this, yes, nursing mother. Several neighbors had come closer to see, and they helped him to take from his shoulders the sack where the baby brother was held. With curiosity, they leaned over. He drew back the cover. So, Michali kept his infant baby, his little brother, in his shoulder as a bundle. So, the people in the Anatolian camp helped him to yes, take the bundle from the shoulder and show the baby. The woman gave vent to various cries of horror. The child had no longer anything human about it. The head had become enormous, and the body of an incredible thinness was all shriveled up. As until then it had sucked only its thumb. It was all swollen. It was dreadful to see. Michali himself drew back in fright. So, this is the first time, after some time, after some days, Michali show the infant baby, his brother. After helping Michali, all the people, the refugees in Anatolian camp, to take the bundle, take the baby from the bundle and see all the people, the baby. Then they became frightened. For what? What reason? Yes, the baby is very thin in size. The head is big and the body is very thin because of hunger. And the baby just sucking its thumb. All of them together chased him heavy, threatening. His eyes filled with tears. He went off bearing the little child, still wailing in its anger. In Anatolian camp also, the refugees just chased him with his little brother. For what reason? Because of the appearance of the infant baby. There was nothing to be done. The child was condemned to die of hunger. So anyway, Michali understood that my baby, my little brother may be die because of hunger. No one in this camp is ready to give him milk. Michali felt himself immensely alone and lost. A chill ran up his spine at the thought that he was carrying such an unlucky child. That is the first time Michali thought that I am carrying my brother. That was an unlucky child. He slumped down in the shadow of a shed. It was still very warm. So he just carried his baby and he rest in the shed, near the shed. The country spread out before him in arid wasteland covered with refuse. Noon rang out somewhere. The sound reminded him that he had eaten nothing since the day before. So when we feel hunger, some noise are there, arise from our belly or stomach. So like that, his belly, his stomach produces some kind of sound of hunger. That time, that reminded Michali that he didn't eat any food. He would have to go sneaking about the streets, round cafe terraces, flitting some half-eaten roll left on a plate, or else rake about in the garbage or what a dog would not have eaten. Suddenly, life seemed to him so full of horrors that he covered his face with his hands and began to sob desperately. And he arrived in a wasteland, in a hotel, the side of a cafe, a hotel. He can see what? A wasteland. Some food wastes are thrown them there. Then dogs are there to eat them. Like that, Mikali also wanted to eat the rest, the waste of the food. That is not eaten by the dog. How pathetic his condition there. When he raised his head, a man stood before him, gazing down upon him. That time, a man just touched him. That time, he turned his head to him and showed him. Mikali recognized the Chinaman who often came to the camp to sell paper knickknacks and charms which no one ever bought from him anyway. So, Mikali just saw this Chinaman. This is a Chinaman and he know him. In Armenian camp, maybe this Chinaman is a seller who came there to sell paper products, paper bags and all the products related with the paper. And charms which no one ever bought from him anyway. Often they mocked him because of his color and his squint eyes. You know the speciality of Chinese people. Their eyes are squint eyes and their color. So, Mikali with the people in the Armenian camp maybe mocked him, Chinaman, in that camp. Mikali saw that he was looking gently down at him and moving his lips as though to speak. Finally, the Chinaman said, "You must not cry, my boy." So here, the Chinaman just moved his lips to say something. That is what, "You must not cry, boy." Then timidly, "Come with me." Mikali's only answer was to shake his head negatively. So, Chinaman called Mikali to come with him to the house, the Chinaman's house, but this Mikali shake his head as negative. He longed to flee. He had heard so many horrors about the cruelty of the Orientals. Why he shake his head negatively? Because in the Anatolian camp and the Armenian camp, people chased him away. So, that is there in his mind and he is not ready to go with the Chinaman. Yet the man remained there and did not budge. So, being in great distress, Mikali followed him. But the continuous calling of Chinaman, he ready to follow him, accompany him. What more awful thing could happen to him? As they walked along, he stumbled weakly and almost fell with the child. The Chinaman came to him and taking the baby in his arms, tenderly pressed it to him. So, this time our Mikali, the character Mikali is going to fell down with his baby. That time Chinaman helped him and take the baby from his arms. They crossed several empty lots and then the man took a little lane that led them to a sort of wooden cabin surrounded by a very small garden. So, Chinaman's house is like a cabin and it is surrounded by a small garden. He stopped before the door and clapped his hand twice, and he just stopped before his cabinet, his house, a small shed, and he just clapped his hand twice because no calling bell is there. It is a sign of calling his wife. A few light steps inside a tiny person came to open the door. China people is very tiny in size, so a short person came to open the door. Seeing the man, her face reddened and then a happy smile lit it up. So, this woman is, her face is reddened, red colored, and she just gave a happy smile. She made a brief courtesy to them as Mikali remained there, hesitatingly rooted to the threshold. The Chinaman said to him, "Come in then, do not be afraid, this is my wife." So, Mikali became terrified by seeing this woman. Why? Because he think that maybe this house also. These people also chase him away with his baby. And Chinaman consoled him that don't be afraid, this is my wife. Mikali went to the room, rather large it seemed, separated in the middle by a colored paper screen. It was all so clean and neat. They are wall are covered with the paper and all are neat, very clear. Though very poor looking, in the corner he noticed a wicker cradle. They are poor people, but their house is, their cabinet is fully clear. And there he noticed a wicker cradle. A cradle is there. That is my baby, said the young woman, cocking her head graciously to one side and smiling at him. Then this woman, China woman, said, this is my baby. He is very tiny and very beautiful. Come and see. And she also added that he is very tiny and very beautiful. Come, let's see. Mikali went up closer and silently admired it. A chubby baby, but lately out of the darkness of the maternal body, slept peacefully, covered with a gold brocade cloth like a little king. And this baby is covered with a golden cloth and it looked like a little king. Then the husband called his wife over. He told her to sit on a straw mat, and the Chinaman called his wife and he said her to sit on the straw mat. Without a word, he sat down on her lap, the little famished one, bowing deeply before her. The woman leaned over with astonishment and drew back the covering in which the child was wrapped. It appeared to her in all its skeletonic horror. She gave a cry of immense pity, then pressed the babe to her heart, giving it the breast. Now, Mikali gave his baby newborn brother to this Chinese women, and with a horror, with a cry, she just held tightly to her breast this newborn baby of Mikali. Then, with a gesture of modesty, she brought forward a flap of her robe over the milk-swollen breast and the poor gluttonous infant suckling there. This China woman is ready to give milk to the baby of little brother of Mikali. So this is our story, maternity. How pathetic story. No people in this world is ready to help other, even this little or newborn baby. So this China woman, but some people is there, in their heart is full of love and peace, helping mentality is there. So here we wind up our story, maternity. Thank you.